Between my last stopping video and this one, I made two major changes. The first was I replaced my brake pads. They were pretty worn out when I did the last video, and that pretty much did them in. The second thing was I cleaned this lot, so now it's more like riding on a normal road. So there's a stop with me locking up the rear brake a little bit. Took a very long time to get stopped. Now I'll do a run where I don't lock the rear brake, but use just the rear brake. I did manage to get stopped quite a lot sooner than when I locked the rear wheel, but it still takes an awful long time to get stopped using just the rear brake. I'm gonna do another run of just the rear brake to see if I can do any better with that, but the rear brake does not get you stopped quickly. That's all there is to it. That's about as good as it's gonna get using just the rear brake. Do one with just the front brake. Put out a cone to mark my spot. I'll do another front brake only. Almost exactly the same as before. You can see all the weight transfer in this. I'm able to get on the brakes quite a lot harder than last time because the surface is clean, and you can really see, I think in both videos, how much the weight moves to the front tire. It's another front brake only, but I did a little bit better on that one, so I'll mark that. And I'll do a couple more of just the front brake to see how good I can get with it. A little bit of improvement again. Now, the brakes are getting warmer because I'm using them, and warm brakes are more effective than cold brakes. So my braking should, in fact, get better, not just because I'm practicing them, but because the equipment is going to be more responsive and work better. So that's pretty good. And now I'll do a run with both brakes. Not much better, but I'll mark it anyway. So I think you can see the importance of practicing here. Each time I try it, I get a little bit better. That's both brakes again. Just a touch better than the last time. And even if you do practice your braking, it's important to think about the equipment. I've been riding on cold days, going down the highway, and not had to use my brakes at all. And then after a little while, if you want to slow down, you realize your brakes are cold and they're not really going to do anything. I've grabbed front brake before and had nothing happen until the friction of the pads on the rotor warmed up the brakes enough that they would actually grab. So you do have to consider the condition of your brakes and the temperature that they would be. Cold brakes aren't terribly effective. If you're riding in traffic, you should be using your brakes when you need to slow down. Even if engine braking could do the trick, using your brakes is a good idea for the simple fact that it will keep your brakes warm and in good operating temperature in case you do need them. If you all of a sudden have to do an emergency stop, but your brakes are cold, you're going to be in trouble. So you can see the massive difference between the rear brake by itself and the front brake by itself. and then both brakes together. You can get stopped in less than half the distance, way less than half the distance, if you're using both brakes versus the rear brake.